We live in a digital world. From online banking to social media, our lives are increasingly online. But this digital reliance comes with a catch. We become vulnerable to cyber attacks. Now we have to worry about our digital doors too. The good news is that there are ways to protect ourselves. Let's face it, the bad guys are getting smarter. They're constantly finding new and creative ways to exploit vulnerabilities in our digital systems. It's like a game of cat and mouse, but the stakes are much higher. We're talking about your hard-earned money, your personal information, and your privacy. Remember that time you clicked on a link that seemed a little fishy, or downloaded a file from a suspicious email? Those are just a couple of ways these cybercriminals try to trick you. They're like digital con artists, using sophisticated techniques to steal your information without you even realizing it. These cyber attacks aren't just random acts of mischief either. They're often part of organized crime rings, motivated by financial gain or even political agendas. They exploit our trust, our curiosity, and sometimes our plain old laziness. They know how to push our buttons, both literally and figuratively. You might be thinking, this all sounds pretty scary. What can I do about it? You're not helpless. You don't have to be a tech genius to protect yourself. Just like you wouldn't leave your front door unlocked, you don't have to leave your digital life wide open for attack. The first step is awareness. By understanding the threats and how they operate, you're already one step ahead of the game. The good news is there are simple, practical steps you can take to protect yourself. It's about changing your habits, being more cautious online, and adopting some basic security measures. Just like you buckle your seatbelt every time you get in a car, these cybersecurity measures should become second nature. Because once the damage is done, it can be a real pain to clean up the mess. All right, let's talk about money, specifically yours. The stuff you work hard for, the stuff you're trying to save, the stuff you definitely don't want some cyber crook getting their grubby little hands on. The financial sector is a prime target for these digital bandits. Banks, online payment systems, even your favorite online stores, they're all in the crosshairs. Think about all the sensitive information you share online, your credit card details, bank account numbers, social security number. It's like leaving a trail of digital breadcrumbs for these guys to follow straight to your treasure chest. One wrong click, one compromised website, and boom, your hard-earned cash could vanish into thin air. And let me tell you, recovering from financial fraud is about as fun as a root canal. That's why cybersecurity is absolutely crucial in the financial sector. Banks and businesses need to have robust systems in place to protect your money. And you, my friend, need to be smart about how you manage your finances online. Now let's move on to something even more personal, your health. Remember all those medical records, test results, and personal information stored in those giant computer systems at your doctor's office? Yeah, well, those are juicy targets for cybercriminals too. Imagine this. A hacker gets access to a hospital's network. Suddenly surgeries are canceled, life-saving equipment malfunctions, and patients' personal information is held hostage. Hospitals and healthcare providers have a responsibility to keep your medical information safe and secure. But it's not just about protecting your privacy. It's about protecting your life. A cyber attack on a hospital can literally mean the difference between life and death. So the next time you're at the doctor's office and they ask for your email address or social security number, don't be afraid to ask how they're protecting your information. Let's talk about you for a second. Not the you sitting there reading this in your pajamas, but your digital twin. You know, the one that exists in the vast expanse of the internet, the one that's made up of all the data you share online, your social media profiles, your online shopping habits, your browsing history. Now imagine someone getting their hands on all that information. They could steal your identity, drain your bank accounts, even ruin your reputation with a few well-placed lies. Protecting your personal data is like protecting your digital twin. It's about being mindful of what you share online, who you share it with, and taking steps to secure your accounts. Because in the digital age, information is power. Okay, folks, let's dive into the nasty world of malware. Imagine this. A tiny piece of code invisible to the naked eye, wreaking havoc on your computer. Sounds like a horror movie, right? Well, that's malware for you. It's the digital equivalent of a virus, and it's more common than you think. Think of it like this. You download a seemingly harmless file or click on a link that looks a little too good to be true. Boom! You've just invited malware into your digital home. Malware comes in all shapes and sizes. There's spyware, silently tracking your every move online like a creepy stalker. Then there's adware, bombarding you with annoying pop-ups and slowing down your computer to a crawl. And let's not forget about viruses, those nasty little programs that can corrupt your files and crash your system. That's why it's crucial to have a good antivirus program and to be cautious about what you download and click on. Be careful, my friend. You might be staring down the barrel of a phishing scam. These cybercriminals are master manipulators, crafting emails that look deceptively legitimate. They play on your fears, your curiosity, even your desire for a good deal. They'll offer you free stuff, threaten to close your account, or warn you about a security breach, all in an attempt to trick you into giving up your personal information. Remember, legitimate organizations will never ask for your personal information via email, so be wary, be skeptical, and think twice before you click on anything. All right, folks, time to talk about the big leagues of cybercrime ransomware. Imagine this, you turn on your computer one morning and bam, all your files are locked, replaced with a menacing message demanding payment to unlock them. Congratulations, you've just been hit with ransomware. It's the digital equivalent of kidnapping, except the kidnappers are holding your data hostage instead of a loved one. They've encrypted your files, making them completely inaccessible, and they're demanding a hefty ransom, usually in cryptocurrency, to give you back the key. These cybercriminals are ruthless, targeting individuals, businesses, even hospitals and government agencies. So what can you do to protect yourself? Back up your data regularly, like religiously, and for the love of all that is digital, be extremely cautious about clicking on links or opening attachments from unknown senders. Hold on to your hats, folks, because things are about to get spooky. We're talking about advanced persistent threats, or APTs for short. These are the ninjas of the cyber world, stealthy, sophisticated, and incredibly dangerous. Unlike your run-of-the-mill cyber criminals, APTs aren't after a quick buck. They're playing the long game, infiltrating networks and remaining undetected for months, even years, while they silently gather valuable information. They use advanced techniques to bypass security measures, creating backdoors and exploiting vulnerabilities that most people don't even know exist. Detecting and defending against APTs is a whole other ballgame. It requires constant vigilance, advanced security measures, and a healthy dose of paranoia. Think of the digital world like the Wild West. It's full of opportunities, but also full of dangers. You wouldn't walk around a dusty frontier town with your pockets turned out, would you? No way. You'd want some protection, some way to keep the riffraff out. That's where firewalls come in, folks. A firewall is like a digital security guard for your computer or network. It's a barrier between your precious data and the bad guys lurking on the internet, constantly checking who's coming and going. It analyzes incoming and outgoing traffic, blocking anything suspicious, like a bouncer at a fancy club. Setting up a firewall is like locking your front door. It's a simple step that can make a world of difference. Let's talk about secrets. Everyone has them, right? Maybe it's the password to your secret stash of cookies, or maybe it's your top secret chili recipe. Well, in the digital world, encryption is like keeping your secrets in a locked vault protected by an uncrackable code. Imagine writing a message in a secret language that only you and the intended recipient can understand. That's essentially what encryption does. It scrambles your data, turning it into an unreadable jumble of characters, and only someone with the right decryption key can unlock it. Encryption is used everywhere online, from securing your online banking transactions to protecting your private messages from eavesdroppers. It's the digital equivalent of a cloak of invisibility, shielding your data from those who would seek to steal it. So next time you send sensitive information, make sure it's encrypted. It's your best defense against prying eyes. All All right, let's talk passwords for a second. We all hate them, right? They're hard to remember, easy to forget, and let's be honest, most of us use the same one for everything. But what if there was a way to make your passwords even stronger, like Fort Knox level strong? Enter multi-factor authentication, or MFA for short. It's like adding an extra layer of security to your accounts, like having a second lock on your front door. Even if someone gets their hands on your key, your password, they still can't get in without the second one. Here's how it works. Let's say you're logging into your email account. You enter your password, the first factor, and then bam! You receive a text message with a unique code that you have to enter to complete the login process, the second factor. See? Double the trouble for hackers. We've all been there. You're in the middle of something important, and then boom! That annoying pop-up appears reminding you to update your software. It's tempting to just hit, remind me later, right? But hold on a second, folks. Those updates aren't just about adding fancy new features, they're often about patching up security holes. Think of it like this. Imagine your computer software is like a house, and hackers are constantly looking for cracks in the walls, broken windows, any way to sneak in. Software updates are like patching up those holes, reinforcing the walls, making it much harder for the bad guys to get through. These updates often contain crucial security fixes, plugging vulnerabilities that hackers could exploit to gain access to your system. So the next time you see that update notification, don't ignore it. Take a few minutes to install those updates and you'll be one step ahead of the hackers. Remember that time you went to Target for just one thing and came out with a cart full of stuff you didn't know you needed? But back in 2013, Target experienced a different kind of shopping spree, one that involved hackers. Millions of customers had their credit and debit card information stolen. Hackers exploited a vulnerability in Target's HVAC system. The lesson? Protect your entire infrastructure. Credit scores, those three little digits that hold so much power over our lives. They determine whether we get that loan, that apartment, even that job. So imagine the horror when Equifax, one of the three major credit reporting agencies, announced a massive data breach back in 2017.
It was a cybersecurity disaster of epic proportions. The personal information of over 147 million people, names, addresses, social security numbers, even credit card details, stolen by hackers. It was like a thief breaking into Fort Knox and making off with half the gold reserves.
How did it happen? A software vulnerability left unpatched. That's right, a simple software update could have prevented this entire debacle. Talk about a costly oversight. The Equifax breach was a stark reminder that no one is immune to cyber attacks, not even giant corporations with vast resources. It highlighted the importance of proactive cybersecurity measures, of staying ahead of the curve, of patching those vulnerabilities before the bad guys find them. Remember Yahoo? The once mighty internet giant home to email accounts, news sites, and fantasy sports leagues? In 2016, Yahoo experienced a cybersecurity breach of epic proportions.
500 million user accounts were compromised in a single attack. Personal information, including names, email addresses, and passwords, was stolen. It was the kind of breach that makes cybersecurity experts break out in a cold sweat.
Okay, folks, time for a reality check. We've journeyed through the digital Wild West and witnessed the devastating consequences of cybersecurity breaches. But hold on a second, don't despair. Just like in those classic westerns, the good guys can win. The key is to be prepared, be vigilant, and be proactive. Strong passwords, multi-factor authentication, keeping your software updated. Lock your digital doors, folks. We're all in this together, folks. Every time you click a link, download a file, or enter your credit card details online, you're entering the digital battlefield. But fear not, my friend. You don't need a cape or superpowers to fight back. You just need to be informed, be cautious, and be proactive. Think of it like this. Every time you choose a strong password, enable multi-factor authentication, or spot a phishing scam, you're striking a blow for digital justice. You're becoming a digital superhero, protecting yourself and those around you from the forces of cyber evil. Spread the word, my friend. Share your newfound knowledge with your friends, your family, your grandma who still thinks Facebook is for sending letters. Together, we can create a safer, more secure digital world. So go forth, digital crusaders. Be vigilant, be safe, and keep on clicking wisely. The internet is counting on you.